Coach New,
Can you hear me okay?
I got you. Good morning.
Hey, I got it working. All right. How we doing? Good morning.
Job well done. Good. Thanks for joining us. Ball State Cardinals host Western Illinois this Thursday, 7 p.m. ESPN Plus. Coach, coming off a championship year, bowl win. How excited are you guys to be preparing for a game week, to be out there in front of your home fans? What's that going to mean to you and your team as you run out of that tunnel?
Yeah, there's no question we're excited about getting ready to play a football game against somebody else. We've been very intense training camp here, kind of gotten to that point that we're tired of going against each other. You're tired of seeing the same guy every single day. So we're fired up to be able to play here, Thursday night against Western Illinois. And, it's been a great week of preparation. We've had a great off season and, tried to make sure our guys knew night number one of training camp last year's in the past. And all we're really focused on is just one game at a time right now. And all our preparation has been focused on Western Illinois for the last 4 or 5 days.
If you have a question for Coach New, use the raise hand feature. I'll open your microphone. Alex Shear, your microphone's open.
Coach New, how are you? Alex Shear from the College Sports Connection podcast. Wanted to talk about the loss of Caleb Huntley and how big that is for your offense. Obviously, you've got Ty Evans and Will Jones ready to step in, but how big is that loss of such a playmaker like Caleb?
Yeah, no question. It was awesome actually to see Caleb start the game last night for the Atlanta Falcons. That was really cool to see that. But he's no doubt it's hard to replace a guy like Caleb Huntley, who was such a special player for us for a long period of time. And you knew what you were going to get from him week in, week out. But, our guys, when Caleb was injured a year ago and he was unable to play the last 3 or 4 games, our running back group really stepped in by committee and did a great job. You mentioned Will Jones, you mentioned Ty Evans, Donnie Marcus. Really, all 3 of those guys stepped in at one point in time the last 3 or 4 games of the season, did a great job. And that'll be our same approach. We've got those 3 guys that have had a great off season here. They've worked really hard. They're ready, eager for this opportunity, knowing that, a guy like Caleb Huntley has moved on to the next chapter of his life. So they've worked hard. They've had a great camp. And, I know they're excited about the opportunities that lie ahead.
Sure. You guys are returning a lot of starters this year on both sides of the ball. How critical is that experience going to be for your team now trying to secure a repeat MAC championship?
Yeah, anytime that you can return a significant number of guys like we do that have played a lot of football, that's definitely helps because, their database in the back of their head, they've experienced a lot of situations, over the years. They certainly know the opponents in our conference. They know how competitive it is from top to bottom. They know what it's like to prepare. They know what it's like, what the process is like when you start out for your week of preparation. They know what that's like. They know how to balance being a student and being an athlete. So it's great on so many levels to have experience. It's certainly helpful to develop our young players as well. When our older guys that have played a lot of football and have a lot of experience, they can take those guys under their wing. But, I've tried to tell our guys all along, just because we were good at something a year ago and we return the same guys doesn't guarantee that we'll be good at that. We got to start the process all over again. And everybody's attitude and mindset has been right.
Next, Robbie General. Robbie, your microphone's open.
Hey, Coach. I actually got a question from Jordan Gusky talking about Lance Leipold, who obviously, helped build up Buffalo and is now at Kansas. How did you see him kind of build up Buffalo, and then how do you think he can translate what he did there to his new job at Kansas?
Yeah, I got a lot of respect for Lance, a good friend, but a lot of respect for him, and just to see the job that he did over the years, at Buffalo. Because my first year in the MAC as a head coach, my first year back here at Ball State, they were kind of coming off a tough year. And so I got an opportunity to visit with him a bunch, at some of the head coaches meetings. And so much respect for him, because he built Buffalo into such a consistent contender every single year, and does a phenomenal job in recruiting. So I know he's cut out for the job and the task that lies ahead. Certainly it's going to be very challenging, but Lance has been a winner. everywhere he's been. So I'm happy for him and fired up. And it's a great reflection, on the coaches in the Mid-American Conference. And I'm excited for the opportunity for Lance. And we'll miss competing against him, but he, certainly did a great job at Buffalo.
That it, Rob?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I didn't cut you off. That's all.
No, you're good.
Coach, one thing, obviously, I've been asking every coach, tell us about your opponent. What do you know about Western Illinois? What are you preparing for on Thursday?
Yeah, Western played in a very challenging spring season. You can imagine going to work every single day. They still were dealing with a pandemic, just like we did last fall. But very challenging season. I'm sure on a daily basis, it was probably a challenge just to field how many guys were going to be available for practice, where are we going to practice? And so it's a football team, though. I don't care what their record says. They got better every single week, and they returned some very talented players. You look just on the offensive side of the ball, Connor Sampson has played a lot of football for them. And, he led the conference in passing yards. He's got some tremendous weapons around him, and Tony Tate and Dennis Houston. We focused on those guys a lot. And, they're very explosive in terms of what the big playability that they have from an offensive standpoint. So, and those guys have played a lot of college football. And, in addition to that, Tate's certainly an explosive return guy. He had a huge kickoff return last year in the last game of the year for a touchdown against Youngstown. And you're a talented player, man. And then you flip over to the defensive side of the ball. And again, they had a defensive coordinator that came in from Lamar. It was his first year with them. So very, very tough to be able to implement what you totally want to do from a defensive standpoint. But as I meant, they got better every week, and they play hard. The guy to me that I circle when I watch the tape is the safety, Michael Lawson. He's a guy that was at Lamar with a defensive coordinator, came to Western Illinois. He's a physical dude, man. He plays down here. He's a tone setter when you talk about the course of the game. And so, it's going to be a great opponent. Western Illinois has had some very good years. 3 of the coaches on my staff were at Western Illinois at one time, and Tyler Stockton and Josh Seidenberg and Vic Hall. Those guys were all 3 Western Illinois at one time. And so over the years, I know they're coming off of what might look on paper as a disappointing record, but good opponent, man, good opponent. And, we've been preparing our tail off. This is like the MAC championship game for us, and a lot of respect for him. And, I've had a chance to interact some with Jared Elliott, the head coach. And, I know he's working his tail off to help, get their program, turned around. And so it'll be a tough opponent here on Thursday night. Make no mistake about it.
We have a follow-up from Alex Shear. Alex, your microphone's open.
Coach, I just wanted to kind of talk about Drew Plitt real quick. Everybody wants to talk about Drew Plitt, right? He's your leader of your offense. Having him back one last season to kind of run things, that's got to be pretty special for you guys, knowing that you have that true veteran leadership under center.
There's no doubt. Drew's played a lot of football games here, and what he did for our program a year ago to help lead us and to help do his part, to win the first championship in 24 years and the first bowl game in history of our program. He did a tremendous job that way. But, when we started the offseason this year, we had a great conversation together, and we both realized that there's so much room for improvement. And there's a lot of things that we can clean up. There's a lot of things, certainly, I know on his end of it that he wants to continue to get better at and continue to evolve as a quarterback. And so for him to recognize that coming out of a year like last year says a lot about him from a leadership standpoint, says a lot about him from a character standpoint. So he's worked hard. He's a perfectionist, and sometimes we've had to have a talk during camp here, like, hey, not everything's going to be perfect, man, and you can't force the issue. And so he's excited, though, because it's a tremendous challenge. Everybody knows that we got a target on our back. We welcome that, but it's all about making sure we have a great approach of playing it, one snap at a time here. And if you can do that for a significant number of plays during the course of the game, then we'll put ourselves in a position to be successful.
Cool. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Coach. I think we've hit your time here. Want to say thank you once again for joining us this morning, and best of luck. Once again, Ball State takes on Western Illinois Thursday, 7 p.m. That game can be seen on ESPN Plus. Take care and best of luck once again.
All right, Jeremy, thanks for having me. Take care.